Is my mic working? I'm audible?
Yes.
Now, just because my mic is working and I'm audible, that doesn't mean that you people will listen to me. So let me put things in perspective. How does this happen with you? Imagine for a moment that you are sitting in a business meeting, probably in a classroom, and the presenter and the speaker is speaking in front of you, and you are thinking about something else. Common?
Yes.
So show your hands if it's common. Show your hands. So my question to you is this: if this is so common, what is the guarantee that when you will stand on the stage and speak, people will listen to you? Now, I understood this painful truth around a few years ago. I still remember I got a call from my college, and the professor said, the same college from where I did my graduation in pharmacy. The professor said, Praveen, we are so excited to invite you as a chief guest. We heard that we have just passed out from this college and we have started a company which has around 100 people. Very few people have passed out from a pharmacy college and started an IT company. Will come and share your story with students. It will be very inspiring for everyone. Now, if someone is calling you as a chief guest, will you say no? I said, okay, I'm so excited to come. When is the event? And he said, the event is on Thursday. I said, okay. Today is Tuesday. Don't you think this is a little late to invite me? Now, there are some moments in your life where you have to decide whether you want to feel happy or excited, or whether you want to feel insulted or happy. I decided to feel happy, not insulted, and I decided to go. And I could see when I reached there, now my college is in the deeper part of Maharashtra, I was so pleasantly surprised the way they decorated the stage, and they also decorated me. And for the first time in my life, I was speaking in front of around 200 students. And I could see my driver was just standing behind the audience, and he was taking my video. And I started my speaking, but just the way that I started today. Is my mic working? Am I audible? And they said yes. And I spoke for almost 1 hour. When I was going back, this place is almost 300 kilometers from here. When I was going back, I looked towards my driver and I said, hey, I saw you taking my video. Show me the video. And here I am, watching my own video. And I said, wow, I can't be so pathetic in telling my own story. Means it was boring. Not the story, the way I was telling my story, it was absolutely boring. I felt insulted that day because wherever I've reached in my life, I took a lot of hard work to reach there, and I felt insulted because I was insulting my story in front of people. And I decided that I should become a passionate student of public speaking to understand how to connect with the audience, because I could easily see in the video, audience was not connected with me. They were busy in their life. But you have to understand a belief system. Whatever I do in my life, I do it passionately. I remember that day I was speaking in one college where the average age was around 20 years, and I asked this question to them, show your hands if you found your passion. No one raised hand. And after just few days, I was speaking at a conference where the average age was around 50 years. I asked, show your hands if you found your passion. Few people. So what I believe that it's difficult to find your passion, but it's very easy to live passionate life. What do you mean by that? Whatever you have in your hand right now, do it passionately. If I have to give you examples, with no educational background, with no financial background, with nothing, I started a company passionately, and today I have a team of around 100 people. When I fall in love with writing, passionately I become an author, and I'm just about to publish my 3rd book. When I fall in love running, passionately I started running, and I run a half marathon in less than 2 hours. When I fall in love with mountaineering, passionately I become mountaineer, and I reached 19,000. And this time I fall in love with public speaking to find the answer of this question, that how to connect with the audience. And as a passionate student of public speaking, today I'm going to learn, and today I'm going to share 5 key aspects or 5 key learnings which I have learned in the last few years of my journey. And this learning, these aspects might help you to connect with the audience whenever you are standing on the stage next time. But why you should stand on the stage? There is only one reason. There is no second reason. If you want to become a leader in your life, if you don't want to become a leader, that's absolutely okay. But if you want to become a leader in your life, you have to separate yourself from the crowd, stand alone, and speak. So which are these 5 things? Let me start with first. The first thing any student can do is to understand the theory. So I thought, let me understand the theory of audience connection. And as a pharmacist, I was looking for articles. I was like, find an article where I can find aim, objective, and results. So I started finding articles on public speaking and audience connection, and I found one. There's a guy called Praveen. He's a leading professor of psychology. Around 45 years ago, he did a trial. He did a proper study. And what decides the effectiveness of communication whenever we stand in front of people? In simple words, what decides whether people will listen to you or not listen to you? And he said 3 things decide. The fundamentals of public speaking is based upon these 3 things. Whenever you stand tomorrow on the stage, whether people will listen to you or not depends upon these 3 things. He said, content, the body language, and vocal variety. Now you will say, come on, Mr. Praveen, you have heard about content, body language, vocal variety. What is new in this? Now, in this particular study, they have given percentage to each. What percentage content is important, what percentage body language is important, or what percentage vocal variety is important. I have been asking this question to thousands of people, and I have got variety of answers. Sometimes it's like 10, 40, 50, sometimes like 20, 40, 40, and the most diplomatic is like 33.3, 33.3, 33.3. But the result is this. It's called 58, 38, 7. What do you mean by that? 55% body language, 38% vocal variety, 7% content. Does that mean that content is not important? No. Content is the king. Content is very important. But what it means is this. That even if you have the world's best content, world's best presentation, but if your body language and vocal variety is not good, people won't listen to you. Now imagine tomorrow when you will start working, and if your boss is giving presentation, he said, hey, come here, tomorrow 9 o'clock you have a presentation. Now whole day you are spending time in making that PPT, beautiful images, beautiful content, beautiful graph, you are ready. 7%. Because what is going to decide the effectiveness of communication, whether you are being heard, people are listening to you or not, is 93% your non-verbal communication. So I understood the theory. And I thought as a student, now the second thing is practical. Because no matter how many times you have read this book, you have to still enter inside the water. But there's a problem here. Now if you want to learn swimming, you can go inside the water and learn swimming. If you want to learn how to jump, you can go on heights and you can jump and practice jumping. But if you want to learn public speaking, you have to stand in front of public and speak. But where is the public? Public is busy. It's difficult to make 5 people sit in front of you and practice public speaking. They are busy. There is a big problem. And that's the reason why many people, those who have a fear of public speaking, they stay with this fear for years because they don't get opportunity to get rid of that fear. But I was fortunate enough. Why? As I told you, I was running a company. I had a team of 100 people. So the next thing I did, I called my HR. I said, hey, come here. Do you understand the importance of communication? What activity we are doing inside our company which can help people to improve their communication? And then we started an activity a few years ago, Techizer Talks, where every Thursday, a person has to come on the stage and speak for 10 minutes. And whether they come or not, I used to go every Thursday, and I used to practice. But there's a problem here also, especially for those who are entrepreneurs, especially those who are leaders or team leaders, people report to them. No matter how poor you are when you are speaking in front of them, when you take feedback, they will say, sir, very nice. Which is not good. Which is not good. Because what is the guarantee you are practicing correctly? Then the third thing which I learned is this, that public speaking is a feedback-based learnable skill. You cannot learn it alone. You have to have a feedback from people who are expert in this. So I started searching on the internet that where are the places where I can go and practice in front of correct people so they can give me feedback. And I found a place called Toastmasters. Many of you might have heard about this place. It's present in multiple countries, more than 90 years old, non-profitable organization which can really helping people to improve their public speaking. And the first thing which I learned there in Toastmaster is public speaking is just like learning a car driving. Now car driving is based upon 3 A's. The first A is you cannot drive it alone. Now I have few friends who started driving alone, but it's dangerous. No, not for the person, for the people who are on the road. Same with speaking. You cannot start learning public speaking alone. It's dangerous. Not for the speaker, for the audience. So the first thing I learned that I have to have people in my life who can teach me, because there are too many things in, like in car driving, we have a clutch, gear, this, that. Even in public speaking, there are too many things which we have to take care of. Right? Second thing I learned, which we all have observed, those who have started learning car driving, when we learn car driving, I remember when I started car driving, I used to sit like this on the steering. And when my instructor used to say, Praveen, change the gear, I used to say, oh, wait, I will change. Then I used to look towards the gear, change it. I was completely artificial. Same with public speaking. Initially, when you learn that your hand should not be in the pocket, it should be some open hand gesture, you speak like this. You look artificial. But looking artificial is the first step in the whole process. And the third thing which I learned, the third is, once you go through the artificial phase, the way you are driving car now is like you have no idea when you have changed the gear, when you have pressed the clutch, you have absolutely no idea. Same will happen on public speaking. No, you have no idea when you are doing eye contact, when you are increasing your volume, when you are decreasing your tone, or when you are moving on the stage, everything will happen automatically. With this learning, I started my journey of professional public speaking. And then I started going to a lot of colleges, a lot of corporates. I started sharing these learnings with people through my workshop. And then I learned something else. Then I learned that I was actually finding the answer of a question which is not very important. It's how to connect with the audience. Because I observe many times when people come on the stage, one of the key reasons why they're not connected with the audience because they're not connected with themselves only. Okay, let me ask this question. Have you seen someone coming on the stage and doing something like this with hands and keeping hands in pockets and keeping hands behind? Or have you seen someone moving on the stage continuously from this part of the stage to that part of the stage? If you ask these people, have you told your legs to do that? They will say no. If you ask these people, have you told your hands to do that? They will say no. Have you seen someone like lungs not connected, hands not connected, legs not connected, people speak fast on which tongue not connected, thinking something else, speaking something else, brain not connected. You cannot connect with the audience unless you are not connected with yourself. But the question is, why we are not connected with ourselves? Of course, one reason is sometimes we are not ready, we are not confident about the content, we have not understood the theory 55-38-7, we have not practiced in front of correct people. But there's something else which I realize that why people are not connected with the audience. And that is, we have to understand there's two sides of our life. One is of course the brighter side, which is success stories, and another is the darker side, maybe the failure stories. Most of the time when people come on the stage, they share their brighter side, they share their success stories, and most of the time we hesitate to share the darker side of failure stories. If I have to give some examples, when I started speaking, I used to talk about that I was number one in my college when I was in 11th standard. I used to brag about it. But I never used to share that I failed in 9th standard. I repeated my 9th standard. I ran from my home, from my small town Nasik to Mumbai because I failed. I used to brag about the point that my dad was an army man. He joined army at the age of 18. He served Indian army for 20 years. He fought 3 wars. But I never used to tell people that after army work, when he got retired, when we had no money, he became rickshaw driver. He drove rickshaw almost for 10 years to manage the education of his kids. I always used to brag about my entrepreneurship, that today I have a team of 100 people, we are working in more than 13 countries. But I never used to tell people that in my first year of business we were so low. A day came where I robbed the piggy bank of my 6-year-old son for 20 rupees. When I started sharing the darker side of my life, when I started sharing the failures of my life, suddenly I was feeling so light on the stage. Because now I'm not hiding anything. I'm not at all hiding. Because when you hide things from people, especially when you're sharing a good part of your life, a success story, and there is something which is a darker side, failure story, when you hide that failure story, it's very natural to look not confident when you hide. Doesn't matter whether you're standing on the stage or you're standing in front of your family member. So now the audience is aware about everything. My darker side also, my success stories also, my failures also. And then people ask me that, Praveen, is that so important to share the failures of your life? Why you should share the failures of your life? Why not only success stories? Why not spread happiness? Why pain? It's okay if you don't share your success stories, but it is very important. Whenever you separate yourself from the crowd, stand alone and speak, it is very important to share the failure stories. Why? Because wherever you are in your life, doesn't matter where you are, wherever you are, there are people who are just below you, facing the same pain, same failure. And when they see you, they see, wow, he has gone through the same pain. This is how I should handle this pain. And this story, this whatever you are sharing will help them to reach where you have reached in your life. At the same time, there are people above you, and they have faced the same pain, same failure, which you are facing right now. If someone sitting here saying that why I should fail, then let me tell you, we all are playing the game of life. And there is no game in this world where we don't fail, where we win every time. If you are doing something which is beyond your capacity, one day you will fail. But when you fail, this story is really helping to get motivated, because we don't need motivation when we are happy, we need motivation when we are low. And that's the reason sometimes I fail. Even though I started my journey of speaking with this question that how to connect with the audience, as a student of public speaking, I'm still learning how to connect with the audience. But then I realized there's one more question which is more interesting than why to connect with the audience. Thank you.